Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi everyone. My name is Amira Fazila binti Jamaluddin with metric number F18A00001. I would like to present my proposal about comparison of uterus sign and pregnancy rate between cedar and herbs in cattle. My supervisor is Dr. Raja Ile Irina binti Raja Khalif. As we know, Malaysia's livestock industry is the most significant source of protein for the country's population. However, because of the constant growth of the human population and consumption, the ruminant industry is unable to satisfy local demand. Understanding and assessing the problem is critical for developing a more comprehensive ruminant breeding and management program. The detection of estrus is one of the most important factors influencing reproductive efficiency in dairy cattle, particularly in farms and the use of artificial insemination. Herbs are good source and well known for their ability to cause timely estrus and ovulation in animals while causing no harm to their uterus. By Nazifa 2020. The use of herbs as additive in livestock nutrition in order to lessen the disadvantage of technology device becomes a new goal in animal production. Ruminant industry, especially cattle breeding programs, still have fertility problems such as estrus, which may cause great economic loss. Other than that, cedar insertion is not applicable on a small-scale husbandman as it is costly and needs experienced labor. The hypothesis of this study, H-null modified herbs shows same estrus signs, estrus onset and duration of estrus compared to cedar in cattle, while H1 modified herbs show different estrus signs, estrus onset and duration of estrus compared to cedar in cattle. Next, H-null modified herbs shows same conception rate and birth rate compared to cedar in cattle. H1 modified herbs show different conception rate and birth rate compared to cedar in cattle. The objective of this study are to compare estrus synchronization sign, estrus onset (EO) and duration between cedar and herbs treatment in cattle. Second, to determine the efficiency of cedar and herbs on conception and birth rate. Next is literature review in subtopic estrus synchronization signs. Estrus synchronization signs can be classified into two signs, which is primary sign and secondary sign. A long treatment is required to await a high estrus synchronization rate if progesterone is used alone without a combination with prostaglandin or estradiol. By Yamada 2005. Next, estrus detection. The intensity of estrus and its duration have drastically fallen off over the last decades, making detection more difficult to farmers. Chanvalian et al. 2014. Cows show primary signs at the onset of estrus. However, sniffing and chin resting are not useful as forecaster of estrus because they are not shown by all animals at every estrus and also presented at other stages of the estrus cycle with no apparent consistency. The third one is controlled internal drug release. Cedar. A cedar could potentially be used at least twice in a current estrus synchronization protocol as its insert release progesterone at least 15 days. Next is herbs. In previous study, local herbs were used as an alternative replacement of cedar in goats, and it gives a successful outcome. Modified herbs had the highest estrus response rate at 80.56%, followed by cedar at 77.78%. By Nazifa 2020. Next is pregnancy diagnosis. Rectal palpation is the most cost-effective method of diagnosing pregnancy in the cow, assessing reproductive physiological status, and diagnosing oviductal, uterine, and ovarian pathologies. Lopez 2006. And ultrasonography, examination of the amniotic vesicle and embryo or fetus size was used to estimate gestational age. Pregnant drop test kit is much better in terms of time, as diagnosis can be done earlier, starting on day 18 after artificial insemination or natural mating, and the detection process only need 1 second, less than 1 second to detect, which is a quick test in general. IPB University, Bogor, Indonesia, 2019. Last is artificial insemination, AI. Artificial insemination has many advantages compared with natural services. Next, I will explain about the methodology of this study. First, isolating, treating and collecting data. A total of 20 Kedah Kelantan female cattle aged 2 to 5 years will be chosen from a farm located at Kampung Tebing, Napoh, Kedah. The cattle will be separated into 2 groups, A and B. 10 cattle group A and the other 10 in group B. The cattle will have to be confirmed that they are not pregnant. The group A and group B cattle will be treated with 2 treatments respectively, SIDAR and HERBS. Estrus signs will be observed and recorded. Next step is mating. Artificial insemination AI will be done to the cattle between 6 to 24 hours when the cattle is on heat. AI will be done to 10 cattle, 5 cattle from SIDA treatment and 5 cattle from HERBS treatment. 10 cattle also will be mated naturally, 5 from SIDA and 5 from HERBS. All 10 cattle have to be confirmed on getting mated. Next, diagnosis. The cows will be diagnosed with 3 methods: Pregnadrop test kit, rectal palpation, and ultrasonography. First, for test kit Pregnadrop, after 45 days of natural service and artificial insemination, the cattle will undergo urine test to diagnose pregnancy. A special formulation of chemical reagent test kit Pregnadrop that works to trace early pregnancy will be used. The rectal palpation will be performed after 100 days of natural mating and artificial insemination. Then ultrasonography will be performed after 120 days of natural mating and artificial insemination. Last method is analysis data. Recorded data of reproductive parameters will be analyzed. The recorded data of 2 groups with different treatments will be compared. The reproductive parameters are estrus response, time of estrus onset, hour, duration of estrus, hour, heat detection rate, conception rate, and pregnancy rate. Expected outcome. The expected outcome of this study is a comparison of reproductive performance, estrus synchronization sign, time of estrus onset in hour, duration of estrus in hour, heat detection rate, percent, conception rate percentage, and pregnancy rate between SIDA and modified HERBS treatment in cattle. This study also intended to determine the efficiency of SIDA and HERBS treatment on conception and birth rate. This is again chart. So the project title selection and writing research proposal, literature review, discuss with supervisor, cadre and data and information, and submission proposal had been done for 3 months from March and until May. While the presentation, final draft proposal submission, chapter 1 to 3, conducting research work will be done in 5 months from the middle of May until end of October. Last, the data analysis will be done in also October. Next milestone, complete proposal writing will be done in June, and complete research work will be done in October. Complete of data analysis will be done in November, and the complete of final report will be done in January 2022. The total of the estimated budget for this study is 197 ringgit. That's all from me. Thank you.